International Icon of the Year at IIFA. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm really excited. This is a great honor. I always say that, when awards come, you've got to obviously, there's a feeling of humility to accept it, but then there's an added responsibility to make sure that you don't just rest on it and you keep working even harder. So it's like an incentive almost in a way to work harder, to bring more, and to be able to entertain all of you for a very, very long time.
You also won the award for Change Maker, right? And you're really passionate about education for the girl child. What are the inroads that India is making into it, and what are the changes that are coming about? And you're an active part of it.
So to be really honest, that's a very, very extensive answer if I have to give you, because I will have to basically make sure that every sector that I talk about will be properly represented, and I'm talking about those inroads being made in almost every sector. But if I can just narrow it down to what is most important right now, I think it's a mindset change that is really, really required before we get into policy work and government and school work and all of that. Before we do all of that, I think the mindset change is very important. So the fact that the government has embraced the importance of this mindset change, they've also actually embraced Girl Rising to be part of the national campaign, the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao campaign. I think that is the most important, because where do you start if fathers don't understand that their daughters need to go to school, if mothers don't understand that at the age of 18 the girls don't need to be married, they can continue their education. So it's almost like in many ways, to the best way to put it is, before you get into economic and political work, let's just get down to the social of it all. And I think the mindset change is a massive inroad to make. So the fact that we've started on a small level, I think it's very important.
Speaking of women empowerment, back home in India, there's a huge furor about a comment that Salman Khan had made. He said after training he felt like, like a woman would feel after she was raped. So, this comment has created a lot of controversy back home. So do you think stars need to be more responsible when they speak, or do you think because they're stars, every word of theirs is criticized?
Well, it goes two ways. The context in which someone says something is always very, very important as well. There are sometimes I feel, and this is not to talk about this particular comment, but some people might say something that is not really wrong, but we do come from a kind of a little bit of a sensitive culture where it does irk us a little way, and in ways that probably are blown out of proportion, and not this particular one, because I actually took offense as well. But I feel like it's there is definitely a sense of responsibility that comes with it, and it's important at that point in time for whoever that person is to feel responsible enough to either clarify and apologize, or stand their ground if they did say something right.
He regretted that 2 seconds later. He regretted the same thing.
But most people do regret, and most people who know that they've said something wrong.
Highlighted, actually.
Which is unfortunate, right? Which is unfortunate, and that is the job of the media, to make sure that if someone does say something wrong and they want it, and it's really, if they see that they're being honest about it and sincere about it, to highlight that part as well. So hopefully I'm not going to always say the right thing at the right time. Sometimes after a long, tiring day, I wouldn't say something like that ever. but I might say something that could be misinterpreted.
But you did say this comment offended you. So.
I feel because when you first read it as a woman, when you read something like that, it jumps out as a bit of a shocking statement, But of course, like you're saying as well, that if someone did apologize, highlight that as well.
Yeah, that too, because it's been conveniently just ignored. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. What? People can go into all kinds of permutations, combinations whenever it comes to something like this, and everybody wants to analyze and everybody wants to digress. So instead of focusing on just what one person said, let's really focus on the issue at hand.
Exactly.
Is rape not something that happens in our country? Let's focus on the fact that why does it happen? Why has that mentality of how women are valued and girls are valued, why has that not changed? Exactly. Let that be a conversation starter for something much bigger and much more important that is happening in our country today.
You've reached a point where a lot of our Bollywood actresses now want to be. They're auditioning, they're really trying to make inroads into Hollywood, and you're already at that coveted position. Has anybody picked up the phone and called you and asked you for advice?
No, you know what? I feel like that has not happened, but I don't feel that is also very important, because really what happened to me may not necessarily be someone else's path, and what happens to them may not be the next person's path. So in many ways, I feel with a career that is, I use the word fickle, because you can never put a method or a theory or a technique to how to make it. This is the combination of talent, creativity, hard work, and a little bit of being at the right place at the right time as well. So I feel like there can't be one formula. And everybody has their own approach and their own sensibilities and their own passion, and they should chase it.
Freida, do you sometimes pinch yourself for the success you have enjoyed in Hollywood? And you're also being awarded for the Indian International Icon of the Year. I mean, over a lot of people who have contributed in Hollywood, Indian actors who have contributed in Hollywood far more than you have. Do you feel lucky?
I always feel lucky. I don't know who chooses these people to, who chooses the person to be awarded every year, but I have learned as time has gone by that whenever you are given an honor, to accept it as graciously as you can. And like I said before, to never rest on your laurels, but to keep working harder.
So your basic intention was in progression towards women, how we perceive women in our minds.
Yeah.
But do you see a change in Bollywood coming up as well? Because, in films also, there's been so much more respect given to women today. There's better roles being written for them. There's more, the pay disparity is getting, a little more even than what it was. Do you see that coming?
See, I don't work in Bollywood actively, so whatever I hear is from you guys and from my colleagues. But from what I see as a spectator and as audience member, I definitely feel there is a resurgence of the strong female character that did exist actually in Indian cinema for quite some time. There are some iconic female characters, and I'm not talking about going as far as just Mother India. That's everybody's favorite example. But our own Smita Patil and Shabana Azmi, they've all done very, very strong female roles. So there is a resurgence of sorts, and I enjoy watching films. And honestly, it does not have to be a female-driven film for it to be a strong female character. It can be a story about a couple, and the female part of the couple is very strong.
But it's still unfortunate that even when you see those films where the female actors, they have the main role, there are not A-listers, doing those films. For a dabang, you already have an A-lister like Sonakshi Sinha doing a film. For a film like
there's
NH10,
no male actor?
Yeah, the male actors do not like doing it.
Why? Why do you think that's the case? That's very unfortunate, right?
But have you noticed that?
Of course I have.
Is that the same in Hollywood as well, the issues that we have? Because we always think that, it's a better world. You've been there in Hollywood. So do you think these are the same problems that women face in Hollywood as well?
Pretty similar. It's actually pretty similar. But I definitely feel there are, there's a way to put this. In Bollywood, there are a few actors who rule the roost. And then those are the few actors you would want to see in those films, and they probably have their own films and probably 10 other films happening at the same time. In Hollywood, you have a wide variety of what you call a star, what you call an actor, and maybe you wouldn't see Leonardo DiCaprio playing, the supporting role to, let's say, Carey Mulligan if she played the lead role. But at the same time, you do have actors of a very, very good caliber, and so when you say there's not a superstar who's played the role, I like to think of it with a different perspective. The actor who played the role opposite Anushka in NH10 was a very good actor and was right. Neil, and was the right person to play that part. So then that's when the whole idea of who's a star and who's an actor just fades in my mind, and I just want to see a good performance. I really don't care about seeing a star. I really want to see a good performance.
Your sense of humor came out glowingly in the Coffee with Karan episode with Nargis. What according to you is the importance of sense of humor for any artist?
Oh God, I feel they have to have a very, very strong sense of humor, especially with the way we get ravaged after a film comes out and it doesn't do well at the box office, and you get all these critics' reviews and you're going, oh my God, they are talking about my performance being terrible, or my face looked a certain way, or this or that or whatever, and all these criticisms. And I feel it's very important for an actor to have to be able to know how to take light and to have a good, strong sense of humor in their own personal life. And if they are creative enough or have a comedy inclination, then to bring it out into performance as well. But I definitely, after 8 years of doing this, I have a very strong sense of humor when it comes to critique.
we always, after Deepika and Priyanka, this entire Hollywood thing, we always ask actors when they are going to make the Hollywood debuts. When are you going to do a Bollywood film? You must have.
No, but it's not like you're asking me this for the first time. You've been asking me this for quite some time as well.
But is there anything which you have in mind? You said last time that you want to produce a film here. How's
Yeah,
that shaping
it's
up?
not necessarily. Yeah, it's going well. Thank you for asking. It's not necessarily me looking at doing a Bollywood film. I want to do a great Indian story, or a great story from the Indian subcontinent, because I do kind of believe in many ways we are Satians, we're like all South Asians who are belonging to the same subcontinent. So I'm interested in telling a great story, and in my, of course, because of what I love doing, a great story of a woman. And that's what I'm working on. I'm working on 2 different projects right now. And they are going to be most probably in the local language that they belong to as well, because I am all about authenticity and making sure that, you're representing the culture as authentically as possible.
Have you watched Quantico? Any episode?
I've actually, to be really honest, because of the kind of time schedule and because I'm not very good at, I don't even have cable, so it's pretty bad. I watch everything on the internet. I'm a cord cutter, as they say. But I have watched like a bit of like the first episode when it was available on the internet. And I'm really proud of her. Really, really proud of her, because it's Priyanka, what she has done and what she continues to do and what she will continue to do is unprecedented in so many ways, because everybody expects a Bollywood actor, if they have an opportunity in the West, to not be in the same lead role that they actually enjoy in Bollywood, and she's kind of changed that. So I feel it's very, very important and very heartening to know that can happen.
What would you take up a TV series if that comes your way, and what kind of a TV series would you look at?
We just have time for one more question after this.
I am interested, the kind of TV series that because I'm actually producing and doing so much at the same time. The one thing that I have, my agents are very, very clear of as well, and actually all the studios who know me and have interacted with me, they just know that when I do something in television, it needs to be the short format, where I go in and I go out, and then I'm out into my film, and then I can take on something new. So that's the kind of, and also gritty dramas. I love dramas, and I would do a comedy, but I would want to do a film before I do a TV series. Yeah, a comedy film, I mean. But yeah, I think it'll be drama.
Freida, Amita from Vogue. Hi. So we're really excited to see you at IIFA for the first time ever. Could you tell me a little bit about what you're planning to wear?
I'm not really planning. I'm just going to wear it and just go with it. And I think I'm going to say this because you are recording this, and this is a great opportunity for me to say this. As Vogue magazine and as a very, very out there fashion magazine, I think it should be the responsibility of all fashion magazines, but now particularly Vogue, to ask her more than just her clothes. So I feel like on the red carpet, you guys should start a trend. Don't ask them about what they're wearing, because guess what? In 5 seconds after they walk on the red carpet, their stylists are going to tweet and put it on Instagram. This is what she's wearing, and this is a jewelry, and this is that. And you guys will have all your fashion answers, because the way social media has taken it over is just all over, yeah. But if you ask them more, because I don't think we ask men what it is that they're wearing. It's only women. Yeah. And why? Because it's not fair. We have more to say than just talk about our clothes and our manicures. So ask us more.